Okay, hello everyone and welcome. I'm Mia Saenz and this is my co-partner, Lori Montry. Okay, hello everyone. Whoops. And welcome. We need to turn off some of...
Oh yeah, that old trick.
There we go. Okay. And we have a huge surprise for you. Many of you know that Lori and I began working together last November, even into the beginning of, middle of October. And so we are super duper excited to I'm laughing because Lori said, wonder if they're going to think I'm having another baby. She has 6 beautiful babies at home.
That is not the surprise.
That's not the surprise. The surprise is that Lori and I are officially business partners at Women Making Miracles. And through Women Making Miracles, we have the freedom, which is what Lori is. And together we are the greatest you. And so we're really excited to bring you guys this fun stuff that we have. I wanted to open with a reading. Well, I think I'll do Anna's reading. Would you like a little reading, Anna?
Yep, I'm up.
Okay, cool. All right. So let's open this up, ladies. And any gents that'll watch us on the replay, just write down on the replay that you're watching. Wonderful. Okay, let's see what we have for Anna. Ooh, I like this. Ooh, I really like this. This is something that most people would be like, that's mine too. So maybe it's for all of us, all of you guys, but it was pulled for Anna. Kali, beginnings and endings. The old must be released before the new can come forward. So
wow.
Good. Coventina, purification. It's time for a cleansing detoxification of your body, mind, and spirit. Beautiful. And then Erakura, which is blossoming. You're just getting started, so have patience with yourself and the process, and do not give up. How many people actually give up along the way? It's because they get frustrated with themselves instead of quieting themselves. So don't give up, guys. Does this sound like it's a space that you're in, Anna?
Oh, absolutely. But it's kind of the space I've been in most of my life. So it's a continuous evolution of that. And I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome, honey. I love it.
Especially the blossoming. You know, Mia, I want to dive into the Great Issue Academy and what this is all about today. But you said something so important that I don't want to let this opportunity pass. And that is people tend to give up, you know, and as I'm working with people that, you know, we don't really take time to look at the transformation process and how we make progress as human beings. And so we tend to like dive in and think, okay, well, I've learned some tools and I'm not there yet. So those must not be the tools, or I must be broken, or whatever it is. But when you have kind of that understanding of what progress looks like, you know, it's not a straight line where you just every day is just, you know, whatever. It's like this. And when you know that, when you have some guidance and support for those times when you're, you know, a little bit, you can ride that all the way up to where you want to go. So it just really struck me like this is so important in all the work that people are doing. And I hate that they've putting in time and effort and get hope. They're like, oh, maybe there's something is possible. And then, you know, you hit a stumbling block or something, you know, you're still engaging in your old behaviors. And then you're like, oh, it's not for me. It's for everybody else. Right. So anyway, I just want to.
And isn't that, but let's take that further. Isn't that a sad place of affairs for humanity to be in? To give up because they don't have the tools to move forward, or some haven't seen it. You have Anna here who's been doing work repeatedly and staying on top of her stuff. so she
Mhm.
sees it. But others don't, because they just don't take the time to actually work it and to trust. Some of it is called surrendering
Oh, yeah.
into that space of just allowing us to feel into what's coming around the corner, so we can, the magic about surrendering is it allows us to be smoother down the road, because we get to feel all the spaces and places and little nuances that aren't very fun for us. They're kind of prickly, and then they start to smooth out as we teach ourselves how to work through everything. And that's the beauty of learning to be the greatest you, because you can move through everything.
Yes, yes. We didn't even intend for this to be this teaching event.
Right.
But when we get together, we're always like exploring such beautiful, important topics. And so I guess that brings us to, a little bit of elaboration on this surprise that we've been working on. And that is, we have noticed that chemistry and that synergy of our work coming together in so many important ways. And we decided that what we really want to bring into the world as part of our mission is something called the Greatest You Academy. And what that is a community that we're building. We're building it primarily on Facebook to begin with. So we have some things that we'll kind of talk about how you can become a part of this community. But this community is, people who really want to explore their purpose, their passion for life, reignite that passion for life and live powerfully, which, that's having the clarity about what I want in my life and having the confidence that I can create it, that my life can be what I want it to be in the area of my relationships, in my health, in my spirituality, in my career, in the abundance. And so we really want to just create that community and then support that community in every way that we know how. This is kind of, yes, this is like, like Mia said, this is what we want to do with our practices, but this is so much bigger than that, because we see this as, our purpose and our passion and where we have power to bring this to people and just make that difference in the world. Can you imagine if more and more people were living from that highest version of themselves, what our world would be like, right? And so that's why we've been talking about, how excited we are and how much we wanted to bring this to you and serve in this way. So Mia, what do you want to tell people about this?
Well, the Academy, what's really cool is Lori and I have had this vision for individually and then together for years. And so to bring it together, the different levels that can up-level people from just the beginning of transformation into exactly where you want to go and take your life and have those tools is really powerful. People can take a small thing and then create themselves into the leader. And I know that that may sound like a huge step, but we need leaders in this world. We need leaders in the world going forward. We were not born in this time frame not to be leaders, not to change our experience, not to support others. And so that's what this community is about. It's about sharing leadership with others. It's about teaching leadership. It's about teaching our own value. It's about teaching value, right? Everybody has their own value of what's important within these 5 elements that we've talked about: the body, the home, the relationship, the work, and the spirituality. And yet people don't know how to organize it so that their life can actually run as smoothly as a well-run machine or a well-run business or a well-run organization. So that's what's really cool about this, is we've brought this all together and we're just on fire. We're the same girls at the Freedom Channel and at Self-Love Revolution, but together we've brought something even more special. It's not just that there's 2 of us, it's that the magic that we bring together, or the work that we bring together, complements each other so beautifully that it becomes a very well-rounded experience package, meaning the community is complete It
Yeah.
has everything you need. So that's what we really love.
Yes. And when some people may hear you talk about leadership and be like, that's not really for me. I'm not really a leader or whatever. And really what we're talking about is not necessarily, leading a group of people like in this way, right? Because all of us have different gifts. This is not about, it's very much about people being able to create the lives that they want, having committed, intimate, connected relationships, having a career that they get excited to wake up in the morning. Yes, I'm going to work. I'm expressing myself out in the world, and I'm creating, financial security and abundance for myself. Yes, it's about that. It's about feeling inner peace and with your spirituality and all of that. It's about all these things. And it's, you can have those things, and those things are important and they're meant for you, but it's not about chasing the next thing so that I can have a sense of peace, right? It's not about focusing everything on my external circumstances and getting them just right so that I can feel good. That's not what we're about, but we're also not about just for you, just as an individual. Like Mia's saying, this is for leadership, but in the way that is aligned with your purpose. So your leadership could look like, being somebody who inspires other people, or who, is working with people. That's fine, but that's going to be a small percentage. Your leadership may be, the conversation that you have with the Uber driver, or the kindness that you show to the person who checks you out at the grocery store, or the way you raise your kids, or the way you show up. It doesn't really matter when you're an aligned individual, when you are deeply connected with your living from your highest self, you are benefiting the world. You are leading in a way that maybe right now you're not quite sure what that would look like. But that's what it's all about. So one of the reasons why we're so excited is, yes, we love helping people. We love watching people step into their lives of abundance and peace and all of that. But this has such a ripple effect out into the entire world. You will touch hundreds of people, and those hundreds of people will touch more people. And if we're going to survive and thrive as a species, right, during this really challenging time, this is the work that we need to be doing, every single one of us. And it will look different, but it's all very, very important. And that's why it's a mission for us, not, hey, let's do this.
Right.
This is what we're called to do.
We're committed. Yeah, we've been committed for years. It's a legacy that we're creating and leaving, just like our client, Montry, who came through the Love Mastery program and then created a legacy of these gorgeous silk goddess scarves that she sells to high-end stores. That was her legacy. Or Kathy, who had so much shame she couldn't date and things like that, to the point where now she's out and about and doing what she wants. It's about recreating an experience that individuals want. Whatever that experience is, it doesn't have, nobody's is the same, right?
Yeah.
It can be as small as getting up and out of bed and getting your body healthy, your life in order. Or if you've already done that work so far, the emotional stuff, the relationship stuff, whatever it is, the business stuff. Remember, communication, relationships go all the way from our home, we listen to it into our body, goes up to the spiritual realm, across the planet. So being at one, in alignment with yourself and clear, is really the biggest gift that you can give to yourself, because the frequency touches in so many different ways.
Absolutely. So, we've created this community, put a lot of time and effort into thinking about what do people want out of this the most? What is going to serve at the highest level? And I think we've, through our research and in working with people and everything, that we do have a really good idea. But for those of you, here on the call, those of you who are going to watch the replay, this is the time when we want to reach out to you and say, anything that you want to offer us as far as, feedback on what does that feel like to be, on the edge, thinking about what it would be like for me to be the greatest version of myself. How do I see that? What kind of support would I need? What questions do I have? all those kinds of things. As we are building this community more and more, this is for you. And so we want to hear, we want to understand, we want to just be able to support you in every way possible. Like I said, this is, you know, our contribution in a lot of ways to the world and to a healing for our planet.
Massive gift you and I have. Sorry, everybody, but it's the truth. We're gifted in this area because we've done the work. So, and it's not that we're through. We all continue.
Absolutely.
But
we want just everybody. We want to get them in touch with their gifts so that they feel amazing and on purpose and on fire and out there contributing.
You know what's interesting, Lori, is everyone has their own way in which they believe a perfect day would look. Can I share with them what my days look like before the Dream, Believe, Create process and what it looks like now? Okay, so way back in 2008, when I took on the Dream, Believe, Create to change my life, I had been in a wheelchair for 3 years. I'd been hit on the head at Target where I couldn't move, and I had to go to physical therapy. So my day was not connected with my children. I couldn't cook for them anymore. I couldn't take care of them. So there was a lot of sorrow and sadness and just being totally out of it. And then sitting on the couch in a dumbfounded state in which many of us get to if we allow our bodies to get sick. We can't function mentally clear. We have brain fog. We have all sorts of stuff. So the shift came during the Dream, Believe, Create process. It was on my birthday, and I heard, you've been unhappy your whole life. What would it be like to be happy? So went into the Dream, Believe, Create process, and it literally changed my life. So what a life of not being able to get up, get to the toilet without support, afraid you're going to fall over because I couldn't walk well, or even take my kids to school, have that normalcy to sleep most of the time and try to structure my day so that I had a couple hours in the morning with them and a couple hours at night. So what if that wasn't my story? And what if I was just a woman, not just a woman, what if I was, because I am a woman, and I didn't have that illness? I would still be functioning on a level before the accident where it was frustrating. My body was hurting. I would try to support my children because the daddy was away at work 16 hours a day, and I was an only parent, more or less. So there's not a lot of smoothness. You get the kids ready, you get in the car, come on, let's eat, let's get dressed, let's get to school, let's. Instead of, my life became quiet, more meditative, more loving, more expressive. Not at first could I be as fully rounded and formed with my children. I had to create it for myself. But in the same space, I was able to take care of my children differently. Now remember, I was not able to cook for 3 years, not able to stand up and do dishes. But as of January 1st, 2009, I was committed to never saying no to my children. That meant the dishes had to be done. That meant I operated full functioning. That meant if they needed to go somewhere, I would take them. When I switched that, it's a mental mindset that started a healing in my body. And when I switched that, I became the woman that I am today, because I saw the vision so clearly in the Dream, Believe, Create that I wanted that life to be expressive, to be alive, to be a beautiful woman inside, instead of feeling like I did not exist. And so that's the difference between creating a life and just living a life. We get to be and do what we want. We get to ask ourselves, how are you feeling? What do you need in this moment? We're not taught that, so we have to teach ourselves these things. So that's a totally different experience, to get up, to be calm, to drive your children to school, to drive yourself to work in a different mindset and framework than yelling and screaming at all the cars around you. There are a lot of spiritual people who just start screaming at all the cars around them. How cool is that, right? So it's a totally different expression. And so if you guys just sit and feel into what a calm, beautiful day, even just with smoothness, whether you're inside your home or not, it still can be smooth. And that is where you start to see a difference in your experience and where you can take it.
Yes, yes. We're living from computer programs, essentially, right? The computer program, meaning what we've experienced in the past. Our brain is literally like a computer program that has, registered everything that's happened up to that point, and it will continue to create that. As long as we're following that, we're going to create the same day over and over, and we're just going to be reacting to life. This happens, I react like this, as opposed to being like the creator and the master of my existence. And so, yeah, I remember when I first learned that I was able to do that. And so we've had years, over a decade, right, of figuring out the kind of more of narrowing down and really understanding the method, right? Because at first it was like, oh, there's these pieces and I'm using them, but there wasn't like a real mythology to it yet, right? We had to live it. We had to teach it a little bit. We had to be, and what I love is that you were over here with your process, doing your thing, and our worlds had not yet crossed. And I was over here doing the exact same thing with myself and then with my client. And then like, wow, like the universe, brought it and let us have our individual experiences with it, so that when we brought it together, it would be a fuller version of this mythology that takes us from a reactionary life into us as the creator. And that's what, the Greatest You Academy is all about. It's about showing you how to be a creator once you've gotten into alignment and really living from the greatest you. So let's talk about what we have coming up and how people can become members and a part of this incredible community. The first thing is we're going to kind of kick off this whole venture in a couple of ways. One of them is a 42-page download, an ebook that we've prepared over the last few months that really kind of give a better overview. This is such a in-depth, a deep topic and a deep idea that a few minutes here on this video, certainly doesn't do it justice. So we've created the PDF and the ebook to help people understand what it's all about. So we're going to be offering that for free. Of course, we want to get this information out. We want to support. So that PDF is going to be available next week. So look for that, your opportunity to download it. And we've also created a 7-day free challenge for anybody who wants to learn more about me, as describing the dream, believe, create process. And so we are going to be teaching that process through a 7-day challenge where people, and it's literally called Design Your Greatest Life, because this is the mythology that we have, through our experience, both with ourselves and with our client, what we've been able to figure out what's the fastest way to do that. And so we have that we're going to be giving you more information about next week. The challenge itself is June 6th through the 12th, and we're going to give you the opportunity to sign up for that. And again, completely free. We're building this community. We want people to come and learn more about what that is like. Mia, should we invite to the Facebook group today? Because we are creating.
Yeah. So we do have the Facebook group, and we also have the challenge. But are we going to? I guess you and I need to have a little discussion after that. But yes, there's a Facebook.
Yeah, because we don't want to be confusing. We have groups right now. We have some for the challenge, and but what we really want you to be aware of today is that there are, in the a couple of next weeks to come, and then into June, there's some really special opportunities to work with us through the challenge and get your copy of the ebook, so that we can start building this thing and start, going out into the world, all of us, with our gifts and our highest selves. So yeah, what else? Love to just make sure to see if
Just
there's any
really,
questions.
really excited about all this.
Yeah.
We opened up the group and we have a challenge thing. So right now, I jumped the gun. I opened up the group where I wasn't supposed to. It was supposed to be a different one, but that's okay. We're going to move it and shift it, and you guys are exactly where you're supposed to be. So it's really a beautiful space where we're going to be in there weekly and put stuff up daily. We might even come in daily. We're going to express everything that we're sharing in that group, The Greatest You. So we're excited.
We're definitely, we want to teach similarly to what we've done here, Mia, and what you've provided, the classroom, and we'll have a more set schedule so that you can know when, and decide when things will be best for you. But this is our, this is, like I said before, we're kind of birthing this project out into the world, and it is just a way for us to feel on fire and passionate and to create, because that is, what we were put here to do. So super excited about this partnership, and we want to hear from everybody who's here and everyone who is watching the replay. Help us do this, right? This is not for us. This is for all of us collectively and for the world. So we really want to ask for help. And the way we'll do that is, of course, you're joining us and building that community. And, if you, who do you know that is also, of that mindset that you could imagine them benefiting from and feeling some excitement around and becoming the greatest version of themselves. Mia and I set a goal of having, 5,000 people within the first 12 months. 5,000 people in this community, and learning and working to express themselves and become that higher and higher version, that authentic version, right? It's not like a better or worse version. It's just, me expressed and living a life that feels right to me. It feels like the life that was meant for me. A lot of this was spurred, and I think very much summed up by a story that I heard, and it was someone on a speaking engagement, on an interview or something like that, said this. They said, when we die, we are going to go and we're going to be face to face with the version of us that has fully developed the gifts that we were innately given, all the beautiful, gifts that we were created with. And heaven is when you and that version of you are exactly the same. Isn't that cool to think about? Like, what are my innate gifts? What is that version of me? And so this is all about, bringing that forward and getting to heaven in that way, right? Knowing that this is the greatest version of me.
You remind me of the work I've done as a nurse when I was an RN in hospice with people who were crossing over. I would spend months and months with them, and you could tell the people, and I'm just going to share this, you could tell the ones that were ready to go because they had been doing their work all along, and then the ones that are fearful and don't want to go. So the thing is I love what you shared there, because who do you want to be and where do you want to be? We have coaches coming through the Love Mastery certification program that are teaching this stuff, because they're like, wow, I've worked there. We have one coach in there that she works with the elderly, and she's like, I really want to help them on crossing over. But I see, Mia, where you're saying I also got to get people who are younger so that they can actually shift and change their life. So that's the beauty, is changing your experience so you can be the greatest you now and when you cross over. Because when you cross over, there's nobody there but you and your experience. And so you want to be solid with yourself. You want to be able to say, I'm ready to go. Everybody knows I love them. I lived a great life. I've done what I could do. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
Rather than being afraid.
Yeah. And it's all about steps. You may be thinking right now, well, I don't know. I don't know what the greatest me is. I don't know what that's okay. We're going to give you the first step. the first step is to engage in this community and get started. That is the first step. It's the only thing you need to worry about right now. Let us know any of those questions I gave you earlier. What do you see as the greatest version of you? What little thing? Maybe it's just something as simple as, I want to heal some aspect of my health, or I want to feel more peace, or I want to, I really feel called for a relationship right now, or my job is sucking the life and the energy out of me, whatever it is, just, even the slightest thing. Or you could tell us about what kind of support would help you the most. Anything else, what you're most excited about, just a thumbs up that you like what we're doing, just anything, just every one of you. Let's build this thing. Let's get excitement around it. And that comes from interaction. That comes from you interacting with us, and then us coming back and building that. That's an energy. That's like an energetic thing that's happening. And we can create that. If we could see it, it'd be awesome, right? If we could see energy, we'd see these, flashes all around from these interactions that we're going to be doing. Most of us can't see it, but it's there. And so you can do your part, and you can take the first step towards the greatest you by interacting with us and letting us know that you heard us and you're ready to, take the next step, and then the next step, whatever it is. And like we said, we're going to be sending out information next week. When you get the information, either through the Facebook, through the email, whatever you get it, download the PDF. It's free. We want you to understand more about this process. And we're going to invite you to our challenge, our free 7-day challenge, Design Your Greatest Life, where we're going to teach you the process that Mia was talking about earlier. And this is how we're going to take those steps, those initial steps to get going.
I also want to say that this ebook is one of the most beautiful things you'll ever see. You'll think of it and go, wow, it's a lot like Bellamy magazine. So know that Lori and I have Lori's put a ton of time in here. Know that Lori and I have put our heart into this in every piece, and we're super, super excited about it. And we're super excited for you guys too.
Yeah. And this is what happens. I'll just say this last thing. This is what happens when you align, right? When you're living from your greatest self, which I'm living from this version of my greatest self. I know there's even more, but when we're so in alignment and just feel so passionate about what we're doing, like this isn't work. This is this is so just glorious to be living and to be an expression of, the universe, to be out and to be bringing this forward. So whatever it looks like, I have no idea what it's going to turn into. It doesn't matter. We're here. We're doing the work that we know we're meant to do. And that's what everybody deserves, is to be out there feeling fully expressed and fully on fire about life.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like for each individual. So interact with us is your first step towards the greatest you. Let us know you're here. Let us know you want this, that you are ready. And we'll give you the next steps. As
we're going to ask you questions.
Yeah.
We're going to ask questions weekly. Excuse me. We're going to be there to support you.
Yeah.
So be interactive. Yeah. It'll be wonderful.
Yes. So thank you for the people who came to be with us during the live, and thank you to everybody watching the recording. We deeply appreciate you, because without you, we can't express ourselves in the world. We can't do our work without you. And so truly, we very much appreciate you and look forward to serving you in this way.